Do you ever feel like something is fundamentally wrong with your life? Every day brings the same problems, same stress, same negative thought patterns cycling endlessly through your mind. You wake up hoping today will be different, but by evening you're trapped in the same emotional quicksand. You look in the mirror and wonder, I wish I could change my life completely, but how do I even begin? Friends, today I'm going to reveal a book that will literally transform your entire existence from the ground up. Look, we all face it daily. Crushing depression that makes getting out of bed feel impossible, anxiety that creates knots in your stomach, relationship problems that leave you feeling disconnected and alone, work stress that follows you home and steals your peace. We desperately try different solutions, expensive therapy sessions, medications with side effects, meditation apps, self-help books, motivational videos, but what actually happens? We get temporary relief that fades within days, not the permanent transformation we're seeking. Why? Because we're treating symptoms while ignoring the root cause that's been destroying our happiness for years. Today, I've brought you Attitude Reconstruction, a blueprint for building a better life by Jude Bijou. This isn't just another ordinary self-help book that sits on your shelf collecting dust. This is a complete scientific blueprint that definitively proves how you can master your emotions, rewire your thought patterns, and reclaim the joy that's been buried under years of emotional baggage. This book contains the exact formula that thousands have used to completely transform their lives. Jude Bijou is a licensed marriage and family therapist with over 30 years of clinical experience treating real people with real problems. She has personally guided thousands of clients from emotional hell to genuine happiness. Her father was a renowned psychologist, but here's the ironic twist. Despite growing up in a family of mental health experts, Jude herself was completely miserable for years. She struggled with depression, relationship failures, and career dissatisfaction. That personal rock-bottom experience forced her to discover this revolutionary method that changed everything. In this video, I will walk you through this life-changing system step by step, revealing exactly how you can completely transform your emotional reality. If you commit to watching this entire video without skipping ahead, I absolutely guarantee you'll emerge as a fundamentally different person with a clear roadmap to lasting happiness. So buckle up and stay tuned, because this journey is going to revolutionize how you understand yourself and reclaim control over your emotional destiny. Chapter 1. The Root Cause Revelation. Point 1. The Groundbreaking Discovery. After 3 decades of research, clinical practice, and personal struggle, Jude Bijou made a discovery so profound it shook the foundation of traditional psychology. She found that the root cause of virtually every human problem, whether it's depression, anxiety, relationship conflicts, career dissatisfaction, or chronic unhappiness, lies in just 3 core emotions: sadness, anger, and fear. This wasn't theoretical speculation, but empirical observation from treating thousands of clients. Every single case, regardless of background or presenting problem, could be traced back to unexpressed versions of these 3 fundamental emotions. Point 2. The revolutionary 6 core emotions theory. According to Attitude Reconstruction, the entire spectrum of human emotional experience boils down to just 6 emotions arranged in 3 complementary pairs: sadness paired with joy, anger paired with love, and fear paired with peace. When we properly express and release the negative emotions, their positive counterparts emerge naturally, like the sun appearing when storm clouds clear. This isn't just feel-good psychology. It's based on decades of clinical observation showing that positive emotions are our default state, only blocked when negative emotions accumulate like emotional sludge in our system. Point 3. The physical reality of emotions. Here's the revolutionary insight that changes everything. Emotions are not mental concepts concepts or psychological constructs. They are pure physical sensations occurring in your body right now. When you feel sad, there's literal heaviness pressing down on your chest. When anger arises, actual heat builds in your muscles and face. When fear strikes, real trembling occurs in your stomach and limbs. We've been programmed to think our way out of emotions, but emotions live in the body, not the mind. You can't think away a broken bone, and you can't think away emotional pain. This physical understanding is precisely why attitude reconstruction succeeds where traditional talk therapy often fails. The catastrophic problem of stuck energy. From our earliest childhood, we receive powerful conditioning messages. Boys don't cry. Good girls don't get angry. Don't be a scaredy cat. Big kids are brave. These seemingly innocent phrases program us to suppress our natural emotional responses. When you suppress an emotion, that energy doesn't simply disappear. It gets trapped in your body like water behind a dam, creating enormous pressure over time. Imagine holding your breath continuously, initially uncomfortable, then painful, eventually life-threatening. That's exactly what happens with unexpressed emotions accumulated over decades. Point 5. The vicious cycle of emotional dysfunction. This trapped emotional energy creates a devastating cascade effect throughout your entire life. Stuck emotions distort your thinking patterns, making you chronically negative, pessimistic, or anxious. They poison your communication style, making you defensive, aggressive, or withdrawn. They drive destructive behaviors like addiction, workaholism, or people-pleasing. Most insidiously, these problems create more emotional suppression, which creates more problems, which creates more suppression. This vicious cycle can continue for decades, destroying relationships, careers, health, and happiness, while you wonder why nothing ever seems to work out. Point 6. Real-life transformation example. Consider this real example. A 5-year-old boy witnesses his parents having explosive fights. He's terrified but learns that big boys don't show fear. He's heartbroken but suppresses tears because crying is for babies. He's angry about the chaos but swallows it because anger is bad. Fast forward 25 years. He's now an adult who can't commit to relationships because of buried terror, can't access joy because of frozen sadness, and can't set boundaries because of suppressed anger. He goes through multiple failed relationships, career disappointments, and battles with depression, never connecting these patterns to those childhood emotions still trapped in his nervous system. This is how unexpressed emotions create lifelong patterns of suffering. Chapter 2. The 3 destructive emotions. Point 1. Understanding sadness. The cleansing emotion. Sadness is fundamentally a cleansing emotion designed by nature to help us process loss and transition. When we experience any form of loss, death of a loved one, end of a relationship, career disappointment, health challenges, or even minor daily frustrations, the natural biological response is crying. Tears contain stress hormones and toxins that need to be released from the body. But our culture has pathologized this natural process, teaching us that sadness is weakness, that we should get over it quickly, stay positive, or be strong for others. This cultural conditioning forces us to abort the natural healing process, leaving emotional wounds to fester like infected cuts that never properly heal. Point 2. The devastating manifestations of unexpressed sadness. When sadness gets trapped in your system, it transforms into chronic depression, a heavy gray fog that colors everything in your life. You develop a victim mentality where you constantly feel like life is unfair, nothing good ever happens to me, I'm cursed with bad luck, or everyone else has it easier. You become isolated, withdrawing from friends and activities that once brought joy. You lose motivation and energy because the unexpressed sadness acts like emotional quicksand, making every task feel overwhelming. Sleep becomes either an escape mechanism or elusive torment. Food loses its taste, colors seem muted, and life feels like you're watching it through thick glass, present but not truly alive. Point 3. The misunderstood power of anger. Anger is actually one of the most vital and healthy emotions in the human spectrum. It's pure life force energy designed to protect what's important to you, establish boundaries, and motivate necessary action. In nature, anger helps animals defend territory, protect offspring, and establish social hierarchies essential for survival. Anger alerts you when your values are being violated, your boundaries are being crossed, or injustice is occurring. It provides the energy needed to make difficult changes, leave toxic situations, and stand up for yourself and others. But we've been systematically taught that anger is dangerous, destructive, or unspiritual, especially for women who are labeled as bitchy or difficult when they express natural anger. The toxic transformation of suppressed anger. When anger cannot flow naturally through healthy physical expression, it goes underground and becomes a toxic brew of resentment, bitterness, passive aggression, and chronic irritation. You find yourself snapping at innocent people over minor inconveniences because you're carrying years of unexpressed anger like a pressure cooker ready to explode. You become sarcastic, cynical, and judgmental, constantly finding fault with others as a way to discharge the built-up anger indirectly. Road rage incidents, workplace conflicts, family arguments that escalate beyond all reason. These are all symptoms of anger that should have been expressed safely years ago, but instead accumulated into explosive potential. Point 5. Fear. The protector turned prison guard. Fear serves a crucial biological function as your internal security system, designed to detect genuine danger and mobilize resources for fight or flight responses. In life-threatening situations, fear can literally save your life by triggering lightning-fast reactions. However, in our modern world, we've developed chronic fear about non-life-threatening situations, fear of rejection, failure, judgment, financial insecurity, illness, aging, death, or even fear of fear itself. This constant state of hypervigilance keeps your nervous system perpetually activated, exhausting your adrenal glands and creating a host of physical and emotional symptoms. Point 6. The paralyzing effects of unexpressed fear. Chronic fear transforms you into a control freak, desperately trying to manage every variable in your environment to create an illusion of safety. You become a perfectionist because making mistakes feels terrifying. You overthink every decision, creating elaborate worst-case scenarios in your mind. You avoid taking risks, trying new things, or stepping outside your comfort zone, causing your life to become progressively smaller and more constrained. You might develop anxiety disorders, panic attacks, phobias, or obsessive-compulsive behaviors. Sleep becomes elusive as your mind races with worries about tomorrow, next week, next year. You miss countless opportunities because fear has built invisible walls around your potential. Point 7. The interconnected web of emotional chaos. These three emotions don't operate in isolation. They're intricately interconnected like a three-legged stool. Fear of rejection triggers sadness when rejection occurs, which generates anger about the unfairness of the situation. Anger about past hurts creates fear about future hurts, which leads to sadness about lost opportunities. Sadness about loss generates fear about future losses, which creates anger about life's impermanence. This creates a complex web of emotional reactivity, where one trigger can set off a cascade of multiple emotions, making your inner world feel like an unpredictable emotional storm. Understanding these connections is crucial because you cannot successfully address one emotion while ignoring the others. They must be healed as an integrated system. Chapter 3. The 3 Healing Emotions. Point 1. Joy. Reclaiming your natural radiance. When sadness flows naturally through regular crying and emotional release, something miraculous happens. Joy emerges spontaneously like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. This isn't the artificial happiness promoted by positive thinking movements or the manic excitement of temporary pleasures. True joy is a quiet inner radiance, a deep contentment and appreciation for life that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's the feeling of being fundamentally okay with existence, finding beauty in simple moments, and experiencing gratitude for the privilege of being alive. Children naturally embody this joy before they learn to suppress their sadness. Adults who regularly release sadness through healthy crying rediscover this birthright of human consciousness. Point 2. The science and spirituality of natural joy. Joy isn't something you create through effort or positive affirmations. It's something you uncover by removing what blocks it. Think of joy as your emotional default setting, like the sun that's always shining behind the clouds. When the clouds of unexpressed sadness clear, joy appears naturally. This joy includes the ability to find humor in difficulties, to see setbacks as learning opportunities, and to maintain perspective during challenging times. People experiencing natural joy report feeling more creative, energetic, optimistic, and resilient. They attract positive opportunities and relationships because joy is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who embody genuine happiness. Love. The universal connector. When anger is expressed healthily and released completely, authentic love emerges, not the needy attachment or conditional approval we often mistake for love, but the genuine care, compassion, and acceptance that connects all beings. This love includes deep self-compassion, the ability to be gentle and patient with your own flaws and mistakes. It means seeing others through the eyes of understanding rather than judgment, recognizing that everyone is doing their best with their current level of awareness. This love allows you to set firm boundaries without being mean, to disagree without attacking, and to say no without feeling guilty. Point 4. The transformative power of authentic love. Authentic love heals relationships at the deepest level because it eliminates the defensive barriers that prevent true intimacy. When you're not carrying unexpressed anger, you can listen without becoming reactive, disagree without taking things personally, and forgive without suppressing resentment. This love extends naturally to all areas of life. You become more patient with difficult people, more generous with resources, more cooperative in group settings. You stop trying to change others and instead focus on being the change you wish to see. This isn't passivity, it's the ultimate empowerment, because love is the most powerful force in the universe. Point 5. Peace, the ultimate achievement. When fear is fully released through healthy physical expression, profound peace emerges, an unshakable inner calm and trust in life's process. This peace doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means acting from clarity and wisdom rather than anxiety and desperation. You develop faith that you can handle whatever challenges arise because you've learned to trust your inner resilience. You stop trying to control outcomes and instead focus on giving your best effort while remaining open to unexpected possibilities. Point 6. Living from peace in a chaotic world. People who embody genuine peace become calm centers in the storm of modern life. They make better decisions because fear isn't clouding their judgment. They take calculated risks because they're not paralyzed by worst-case scenarios. They sleep better, have stronger immune systems, and maintain perspective during crises. This peace radiates outward, calming others and creating harmony in relationships and work environments. They become natural leaders because others sense their stability and wisdom. Most importantly, They experience life as an adventure to be explored, rather than a problem to be solved. Chapter 4. The 5 Tools for Transformation. Point 1. Tool 1. Physical expression of emotions. The foundation. Physical expression is the cornerstone of attitude reconstruction because emotions are fundamentally physical phenomena requiring physical release. For sadness, this means allowing yourself to cry fully and completely until you feel genuine relief, not polite tears, but deep sobbing that comes from your core. Create a safe, private space where you can let the tears flow without inhibition, even if it feels overwhelming at first. For anger, engage in vigorous physical activities like stomping, hitting pillows, shouting into pillows, or doing intensive exercise while focusing on releasing the angry energy. For fear, practice literally shaking it out, trembling, shivering, and allowing your body to discharge the fearful energy naturally. Point 2. The neuroscience behind physical release. When you physically express emotions, you're literally completing interrupted neurological processes. Emotions create specific chemical and electrical patterns in your nervous system. When these processes are interrupted by suppression, the energy remains trapped in your tissues, creating chronic tension and dysfunction. Physical expression allows these neurological loops to complete naturally, metabolizing stress hormones and discharging accumulated energy. Research shows that people who engage in healthy emotional expression have lower cortisol levels, stronger immune function, better sleep quality, and improved cognitive function. Point 3. Creating sacred spaces for emotional expression. Successful emotional expression requires creating sacred spaces where you feel completely safe to let go without judgment or interruption. This might be your bedroom with the door locked, your car in a private parking lot, a secluded area in nature, or even your bathroom. The key elements are privacy, safety, and freedom from time pressure. Many people discover that once they start this practice, emotions that have been stuck for decades begin moving spontaneously. It's like opening a release valve on a pressure cooker, initially intense, but ultimately relieving and healing. Tool 2. Constructive thinking. Rewiring your mental programming. Constructive thinking involves systematically replacing destructive thought patterns with life-affirming alternatives. But this isn't simplistic positive thinking that ignores reality. This is strategic mental reprogramming that works because you're installing new thoughts into a system cleared of emotional static through physical expression. When emotions are flowing properly, positive thoughts can actually take root instead of being rejected by unconscious resistance. You're essentially updating your mental software with better programming. Point 5. The science of thought substitution. Every thought creates neural pathways in your brain, and repeated thoughts create superhighways that become your default mental patterns. Negative thoughts create neural networks associated with stress, depression, and anxiety. Positive thoughts create networks associated with well-being, creativity, and resilience. By consistently catching negative thoughts and immediately replacing them with constructive alternatives, you literally rewire your brain's circuitry. This isn't wishful thinking, it's applied neuroscience. Point 6. Specific thought substitution formulas. For sadness-based thoughts, replace "life is hopeless" with "this difficulty is temporary and will pass." Replace "nothing ever works out for me" with "I'm learning and growing stronger through this experience." For anger-based thoughts, replace "he's a complete idiot" with "everyone is doing their best with their current understanding." Replace "this is totally unfair" with "I can't control this situation, but I can control my response." For fear-based thoughts, replace "what if everything goes wrong" with "I have the strength to handle whatever comes." Replace "I can't do this" with "I'll take this one step at a time." Point 7. Tool 3. Intuitive decision-making. Accessing your inner compass. Intuition is your internal guidance system that always knows what's best for your highest good. But emotional static interferes with receiving these signals clearly. When emotions are flowing properly through regular expression, your intuitive channel becomes crystal clear. You can feel the difference between decisions that expand your life force and those that contract it. Your body becomes a sophisticated guidance system, giving you immediate feedback about people, opportunities, and choices. Point 8. Developing your intuitive abilities. Practice accessing intuition by asking yourself simple questions in quiet moments and noticing the immediate bodily response before your analytical mind kicks in. Should I take this job? Notice if your body expands with energy or contracts with heaviness. Is this relationship healthy for me? Feel whether you experience warmth and opening or tension and closing. What do I need right now? Listen to the first impulse that arises. This skill develops rapidly with practice and becomes an invaluable tool for navigating life's complexities. Point 9. Tool 4. Honest communication. Building authentic connections. Honest communication means expressing your authentic thoughts and feelings without blame, criticism, defensiveness, or manipulation. This involves taking complete responsibility for your emotional state while clearly communicating your needs and boundaries. Instead of attacking others with "you" statements, use "I" statements that own your experience. This approach invites connection and cooperation rather than triggering defensive reactions. Point 10. The art of clean communication. Clean communication follows specific formulas that prevent emotional escalation while fostering understanding. Instead of "you never listen to me," blame, say, "I feel unheard when I'm sharing something important." Instead of "you're always late," criticism, say, "I feel anxious when meetings start late because I value punctuality." Instead of "you made me angry," victim stance, say, "I noticed anger arising in me when that happened." This approach maintains your personal power while inviting dialogue rather than defense. Point 11. Tool 5. Purposeful action. Translating insight into reality. Purposeful action means consistently taking steps aligned with your authentic values and goals, guided by clear emotions, constructive thinking, and intuitive wisdom. Without action, emotional work becomes self-indulgent navel-gazing. With purposeful action, it becomes genuine transformation. This involves breaking down large goals into small, manageable daily actions that compound over time into significant life changes. Creating action plans from inner clarity. When emotions are clear, thinking is constructive, and intuition is accessible, you can create action plans that feel energizing rather than overwhelming. Start each day by asking yourself, what one action can I take today that aligns with my highest vision for my life? This might be having a difficult conversation, taking a class, starting an exercise routine, or simply spending quality time in nature. The key is consistency. Small daily actions aligned with your authentic self create extraordinary transformations over time. Chapter 5. Practical applications. Point 1. Relationship healing through emotional awareness. Most relationship problems are actually unexpressed emotions wearing disguises. Before trying to fix relationship issues, first identify what emotions are trapped in your system. Are you carrying anger about past hurts that you never fully expressed? Sadness about feeling disconnected or unappreciated? Fear about vulnerability, abandonment, or conflict? When both partners learn to express emotions healthily, communicate cleanly, and act purposefully, relationships transform almost miraculously because you're addressing root causes rather than surface symptoms. Point 2. Breaking generational patterns. Many relationship dynamics stem from unexpressed childhood emotions that create unconscious patterns. The fearful child becomes the controlling adult who tries to manage every aspect of their partner's behavior. The sad child becomes the depressed adult who expects others to make them happy. The angry child becomes the resentful adult who punishes others through withdrawal or criticism. By going back and allowing yourself to feel what you couldn't safely feel then, you free yourself from these unconscious patterns without needing years of expensive therapy. Point 3. Transforming workplace dynamics. Most workplace stress, conflicts, and dissatisfaction stem from unexpressed fear of failure, rejection, inadequacy, job loss, or not being good enough. This fear clouds judgment, prevents creative problem solving, and creates defensive behaviors that damage professional relationships. When you regularly release fear through physical expression, then approach work challenges with constructive thinking and clear communication, you become more effective, confident, and successful while experiencing far less stress. Point 4. Career transformation through emotional clarity. Many people remain trapped in unfulfilling careers because of unexpressed emotions. Fear keeps them in secure but soul-crushing jobs. Anger toward authority figures makes them rebel against supervisors or organizations. Sadness about past disappointments makes them settle for less than they deserve. When you clear these emotional blocks, you can make career decisions based on joy, love, and peace, rather than fear, anger, and sadness. You might discover talents and passions that were buried under layers of emotional debris. Point 5. Conscious parenting and emotional modeling. Children are emotional sponges who absorb and mirror their parents' emotional states. If you're chronically anxious, they become anxious. If you suppress anger and then explode unpredictably, they learn that emotions are dangerous and unpredictable. If you're depressed and withdrawn, they feel responsible for your happiness. When you model healthy emotional expression, constructive thinking, and clear communication, you give your children invaluable life skills while breaking generational patterns of emotional dysfunction. Point 6. Physical health and emotional connection. There's an undeniable connection between emotional health and physical well-being. Unexpressed sadness often manifests as fatigue, weight gain, or immune system problems. Suppressed anger creates muscle tension, headaches, high blood pressure, and digestive issues. Chronic fear keeps your nervous system in constant alert mode, leading to insomnia, anxiety disorders, and accelerated aging. When emotions flow properly, your body can return to its natural state of health, vitality, and resilience. Point 7. Financial abundance through emotional freedom. Money problems often reflect unexpressed emotions. Fear about security creates scarcity thinking and hoarding behaviors. Anger about unfairness leads to self-sabotage or excessive spending. Sadness about worth manifests as undervaluing your services or accepting less than you deserve. When you clear these emotional blocks, you can make financial decisions from clarity and wisdom rather than emotional reactivity, often leading to improved financial outcomes and a healthier relationship with money. The transformation process. Point 1. Stage 1. Developing emotional awareness. The transformation journey begins with developing acute awareness of what emotions are currently stuck in your system. Practice regular body scans throughout the day, noticing physical sensations that indicate trapped emotions. Chest heaviness and the urge to cry indicate unexpressed sadness. Jaw tension, shoulder tightness, or heat in your face reveal suppressed anger. Stomach butterflies, rapid heartbeat, or shakiness point to accumulated fear. Also observe your automatic thoughts, reactions, and behavioral patterns for clues about underlying emotional themes. Point 2. Stage 2. Establishing daily expression practice. Create a consistent daily practice for emotional expression, treating it like essential hygiene for your mental health. Dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes daily for whatever emotions need to move through you. This might include crying sessions for sadness, vigorous physical activity for anger, or shaking practices for fear. Many people find that emotions which have been stuck for years begin moving spontaneously once they create safe space for expression. Don't judge the emotions. Simply allow them to flow naturally. Point 3. Stage 3. Integration and lifestyle changes. Integration involves aligning your thoughts, communication, and actions with the positive emotions emerging from your expression practice. This requires consistent vigilance in catching negative thought patterns and immediately replacing them with constructive alternatives. Practice clean communication in all your relationships, taking responsibility for your emotional state while clearly expressing needs and boundaries. Make choices based on what brings joy, love, and peace, rather than avoiding sadness, anger, and fear. Point 4. Stage 4. Maintenance and continued growth. The final stage involves establishing this approach as a permanent lifestyle rather than a temporary fix. Like physical fitness, emotional health requires ongoing maintenance. Continue daily emotional check-ins, regular expression sessions, consistent positive thinking practices, clean communication, and purposeful action-taking. As you maintain this practice, you'll find that emotional issues resolve more quickly, relationships improve continuously, and life becomes increasingly satisfying and meaningful. Point 1. The transformation promise. If you commit to following this method consistently for just 30 days, you will notice profound differences in how you feel, think, and respond to life's challenges. Within 3 months of regular practice, people often report that their lives are virtually unrecognizable from where they started. This isn't just hopeful thinking. It's a scientifically sound system that has helped thousands of people worldwide reclaim their natural birthright of joy, love, and peace. Point 2. Your action plan. Starting today, begin this transformation immediately with these specific steps. First, schedule a 10-minute daily emotional expression session starting today. Second, choose one negative thought pattern you'll replace with a constructive alternative every time it arises. Third, identify one relationship where you'll practice cleaner communication. Fourth, choose one purposeful action aligned with your authentic goals that you'll take within the next 24 hours. These small steps will compound into extraordinary life changes. You came into this world as a naturally joyful, loving, peaceful being. That essence is still within you, waiting to be uncovered by clearing away the emotional debris accumulated over years. You deserve to experience the fullness of life, to wake up excited about possibilities, to have relationships filled with genuine love and connection, and to feel confident about your ability to handle whatever challenges arise. If this message resonates with your soul, like this video, subscribe for more life-changing content and share with someone who needs this healing. Comment below about your biggest breakthrough or the emotions you're ready to release. I read every comment and often respond personally because your healing journey matters to me. Remember, your journey to emotional freedom and authentic happiness starts with the very next breath you take. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your transformation.